Ibrahim Babangida, GCFR, born 17 August 1941, is a retired Nigerian Army general and politician. He served as military president of Nigeria from 1985 until his resignation in 1993. He rose through the ranks to serve from 1984 to 1985 as Chief of Army Staff, going on to orchestrate his seizure of power in a palace coup d'etat against Muhammadu Buhari. Lots of events took place during Babangida's regime, one of which was the Structural Adjustment Program's SAP imposed in 1986, which many tagged the nemesis of Nigeria's economic problem. In a recent interview with The Nation, the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria (VON), Osita Okechukwu, blamed the increasing rate of insecurity in the country on the extreme poverty imposed in 1986. Before we go into details, let's figure out what the term Structural Adjustment Programs means. SAPs are loans offered to a country suffering from an economic crisis by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. In order to improve the terms of the current loan or to get a new one, the country in question has to implement new policies. The main goal of SAPs is to reduce the physical imbalances of the borrowing country. SAPs are mostly used by developing economies as a means of adjustment to the market economy. Nigeria's economy struggled back in the 80s. The country relied on the economic drivers, oil production and export. During that time, oil prices plummeted to less than $10 for a barrel. This caused an overall stagnation of the economy. The government had a problem with finding money for the budget. Naira was overvalued. In the year 1986, then President Ibrahim Babangida launched SAP with support from IMF and World Bank. It was supposed to exist until 1998 and be terminated after the objectives were achieved. In 2020, Nigeria experienced its deepest recession in 4 decades. But growth resumed in the fourth quarter as pandemic restrictions were eased. Oil prices recovered and the authorities implemented policies to counter the economic shock. As a result, in 2020, the Nigerian economy experienced a smaller contraction, minus 1.8%, than had been projected when the pandemic began, minus 3.2%. As part of its response, the government carried out several long-delayed policy reforms, often against vocal opposition. Notably, the government began to harmonize exchange rates, began to eliminate gasoline subsidies, started adjusting electricity tariffs to more cost-reflective levels, cut non-essential spending and redirected resources to COVID-19 responses at both the federal and the state levels, enhanced debt management and increased public sector transparency, especially for oil and gas operations. Called from Nigeria Development Update, the World Bank.
For me, 2023 can be a turning point in the lives of Nigerians. Before now, just like I gave an example of China, India. In the 90s, there were Chinese all over the country. There are Chinese also all over now, but in different capacity. Then, they were working for us, right? Now, we are working for them because they learned from their mistake. Indians were here teaching even in secondary schools, primary schools. Indians, they have gone back. Both of them, we cannot compare ourselves with them because they learned from their mistakes. Are we ready to learn? That is the first question. But on the way forward is this. Let's get leaders that actually have the technical know-how. They have the knowledge on how to build economy and the process to get to that desired goal, instead of electing leaders because of tribe, leaders because of religion. It won't help us in any way. It has never helped us except murdering people every day. It won't help us. So first we need vibrant leaders that know what it takes to build a country. We need patriotic people that think about Nigeria, not self. Abacha banned importation. So instead of trying to bring things from outside, we were the ones exporting, right? For soldiers, we had the best land soldier. Just like I said, political will is important. There was encouragement of rice. Tractors were supported to farmers, eat them farm. So industrialized farming started. They had Abba clothing. Abba clothing started. And up till now, Abba is functioning because of what? Those steps that were taken. If we continued importing even during that time, it means the situation would have been worse now. Right? How about fuel? There are a lot of persons, we have concentrated too much on one particular source of revenue, which is oil, petroleum, crude oil. How we should diversify where we have gold? The country, people are milking the country, eating the gold. Where is the money on the gold going? These other resources, all these resources, all the oil wells should be removed from people. It's government, should be government owned. The government should build its refineries. Let us stop exporting oil and importing the same oil again to us. We are stressing ourselves. The cost of importation and exportation, it's too much. Let's cut costs. That is another thing. The side of cutting cost of governance, the president is receiving too much. Already every other thing is provided. There's a house provided, there are things provided. Let us cut costs. The amount of money being paid to senators and House of Rep are too much, should be slashed to half. It's too much. President was a retired military officer. He's paid as a retired general. He's paid as a current president. That should be rectified. If you are collecting as a president, anything according to you as a general should be on hold. When you retire, you choose which one. Not the same government paying you the same amount. You're being paid as a retired military. You're being paid as a trustee of a particular party. You're being paid as the current president. It's too much. And meanwhile, all the teachers and farmers are not being paid. So leaders should come out and talk what they want to do and the processes. No matter how good, no matter the tribe or religion that person comes from, if the person has no knowledge on how to improve the economy, that person shouldn't be made the president. That's first. Second, cutting cost of governance. Third, diversifying. Outside just crude oil, we should invest in other things. Fourthly, we should also check how to use technology. It reduces cost. Everything is manual. Cost of buying papers, cost of elections. If it becomes electronic, you have cut cost of producing those ballot papers. That money can be channeled somewhere else. And if we don't think about how to also harness the resources we have, we'll continue to go abroad. If the government invested in health, would the president be going abroad for treatment? Our doctors are going abroad to get jobs. Why? Because our government have failed to pay them. So, and then education. Yeah, you have to build the capacity of children for them to be better leaders tomorrow. And last but not the least, no economy flourish in an insecure environment. So the bane of progress, one of the bane of this administration is insecurity. Justice is very scarce and very expensive in Nigeria. If that problem is solved, we should have a better economy.
A professor once said that Nigerians are the most adaptable people ever, suffering in silence while wearing a smile around. Nigerians wish for better governance, and although another opportunity to give it another shot comes in 2023, we can at least make our economy work.